Hi guys, Quinn here with PTSD while black. Um, I guess I just want to talk. I'm going to talk out or process out this relationship thing that I've got going on. There are people in my life that I've had relationships with, which I would say were very dysfunctional based on not taking care of myself or letting other people guide me or tell me what to do or who I should be or how to figure out a situation. And that helped me, and I think it worked for me for a certain point in my life. But as I've had to learn how to listen to myself and practicing self-care, um, I'm seeing that some of those relationships that I've had with people are not as beneficial for me anymore. They're not safe places for me anymore. Like, there are some wonderful people who've helped me through really difficult times, and they were giving advice. And at the time, I think that's what I needed. Um, but what I'm learning, what I'm really needing is learning to connect with my higher power and to learn what my strengths are in a situation, um, to be able to connect with people directly and to resolve a situation. So, what I'm dealing with right now is someone whom I've really seen as a mentor. He is one of my mentors, um, who, whenever I'm going through a really difficult time, I'm trying to reach out to this person because I'm scared, I'm afraid, I'm sad, and I just want connection. Is really what I want, is connection, or to hear his experience, strength, and hope on what he has done to get through these situations. And instead, what I'm still getting is the advice. Oh, you should do this, or you should do that, without knowing what I'm going through, without knowing what the experience is that I'm having, just getting advice on do this, do this, do this. And as I'm healing, as I'm recovering, I'm learning I don't respond well to people giving me advice or telling me what to do, because that's one of my defects. That's one of my defects of character, is being a know-it-all and trying to tell other people what to do with their situation versus empowering people and looking at what their strengths or gifts are in a situation so that they can solve their situation on their own without needing me to rescue them. So, with this mentor, I've known him for like 3 years. Um, I was in the hospital recently, and I was just texting whoever I could think would be awake at this time, that I was scared and to try to be vulnerable with them. And I texted him saying, you know what, I'm in a very weird situation here in the hospital with stomach issues. I'd appreciate if you pray for me. That's all my text was. And the response was, okay, you should go on a meal plan. I'm like, bro, first of all, you're not the sponsor that I work with for the food plan. First of all. Second of all, you're not a doctor. You don't know what I'm going through, because the text that I sent was not very specific, but I was just having abdominal pain around my belly button. That could have been appendicitis, and that would have nothing to do with how I was eating or what I was eating. So I was just kind of like bummed out by this, because I'm like, I really wanted to connect with this person, and here he is trying to give me advice for a diet. I'm like, yeah, I know I'm fat, but that's not what I was needing in that moment. What I was needing in that moment is like, yes, I'll pray for you and I hope you get better. That's all I really needed. So I'm like, bro, I have a mentor who's working with me on determining what foods are good for me and what foods are not, and to look at mindful eating. So I have someone that I'm working with on that, and she's really helping me. But that's not his role. His role is more for well-being, taking care of oneself, financially and emotionally. So I'm realizing that I have to get the courage to ask for help in transitioning the relationship that I have with this mentor. My past methods are to hide and say nothing, which is kind of what I've done. And I would ignore whatever my feelings were about the situation. And or I would run away. I would burn bridges. And so I'm learning to kind of just stand my ground and have that courage to say, this is what I'm needing in this moment. So what I'm going to do is break down what I'm doing that's causing the issue for me, So the resentment that I'm facing is I had an expectation that I had placed on this mentor, and I was not accepting my mentor for who he was, with whatever his experience was, because he maybe still be operating on the old relationship that was set up with us and has not gotten to know me as I've evolved. So yeah, so I'm resenting being held to the old circumstances of our relationship. This affects my self-esteem, my pride, and my relationship with him. My part is trying to control him, being intolerant of his level and his experience, um, dishonesty for not stating what I truly needed, self pity for being, oh my God, I've been misunderstood, fear of losing the relationship, fear of rocking the boat. And that fear is involved in self discipline, self reliance, relying on only me. And I think there is some self will, trying to just wishing that he would know who I was in that moment. Um, and I think there's like a holding on to anger or holding on to fear because of fear, holding on to the fear of losing this type of relationship with someone who's really helped me to grow. Um, so those are my defects that are at play in this. And so I'm going to spend some time working with my higher power on those and asking, how can I be guided to asking for this relationship to be transformed? I know like the simple answer is to state, I respond better to experience, strength, and hope. But for me to become ready in my heart to have this kind of higher level relationship and to accept whatever higher power's will is if the relationship turns differently. That's that's what I'm needing to ask, I guess I would say at this time. Um yeah, so that's what's on my mind. That's what's on my mind right now. Because with transforming this relationship that I have with this mentor, it's also a way for me to transform other dysfunctional relationships I've had with people, such as parents or family members, friends. And I want to transition these relationships from places that have been based on dysfunction of where either I reached out to save people instead of me respecting the hero that is within them already. So that I can discontinue doing that role of rescuing and advice giving, and that people can let down that expectation they may have held on being saved and to love and nurture the strength that's within them. So, yeah, that's where I am with this. What have you. Till next time, peace.